Chuck. Just a quick little tutorial here. What I did is on my LX Mini, I created an NCD file for my Biotronics meter on serial port number 4 using the DNP master protocol. Basically mapped over points from the tag list on the left and using the standard default min-max values for DNP 2 to the 16 two's complement signed values. And then what I did was I configured a DNP slave port, mapped those same values over, but what I'm using is the primary values. And the primary values are actually coming from, on this particular meter, I have a little web interface that allows me to go in. I can look at my PT ratio is 120 to 1. My CT ratio is 8,000 to 5, which is 1,600 to 1. And I can actually look at real-time live primary engineering values from this screen as well. And so using that information, I'm able to calculate what my full scale should be for my NCD files based upon the CT ratio of 1,600 times 10, which is the full scale input value for that particular CT input. And then my PT is 120 to 1 times a full scale of 150 volts, which gives me 18,000. And then my watts total is my 4,500 times the CT ratio times the PT ratio, and the per phase watts would be 1,500 watts per element times the CT ratio times the PT ratio. You know all that. Anyway, real quick, so what I'm doing here is I've opened up HTTPS, the IP address. I'm looking at the data values of the inputs on the DNP master port, and basically 222 amps or 222 ADD counts divided by 32,768 times, what I say, 1,600 times 10 is roughly, depending upon where it settles out, 108 to 110 amps, which is what I'm seeing primary here. And then if I look at my data values using my virtual DNP slave, that's the same thing that I'm seeing here as well. And the same thing for volts, and the same thing for total watts and per phase watts. So if I look at the values here, 2.1 megawatts, and here I'm actually seeing the 2,280,797. The other thing I can do also is I can force values, so I can force a new A to D count and then see how that translates to my primary reading on my virtual slave port. Hopefully that's what you're looking for. It's not obviously on the same page, but you could certainly split this up if you had a monitor with 2 different screens. That would help out, obviously, but I think that's basically what the Telvent does. We're just configuring a virtual slave port so that you can monitor both scale and primary values, and you could still configure another slave port either on a serial port or another network port that's going to go to your SCADA EMS system with the actual DNP scale values. So hopefully that helps. If not, give me a call and we can discuss, or we can do an actual online GoToMeeting session as well if you want me to go through this and answer questions while we're doing it.